Howdy, everyone. Welcome back to a beatboxing episode of Texish, the show about some things Texas.
And some things childhood memories of watching Doug.
We've got a great accent-heavy episode, not story, in store for you today. But first, before we get to anything else...
Tito's and Shiner, gonna be an all-nighter, and I just might find her at the Whataburger line. Dance halls and women, but man, I'm wishing that I was fishing by the river tonight in Texas.
Our not sponsors, your favorite segment.
And ours.
We still have no money from any of them. We have some affiliate links for some of them.
Coming up soon.
Check those out.
Oh, yeah.
It's not going to get any money from that either. But they don't sponsor us. They give us zero money, zero shout outs. Some of them are probably going to sue us. Lots of fun. Our not sponsors. Seth, who is our first not sponsor for today's episode?
Our first not sponsor is day drinking.
Day drinking.
It's your favorite activity of your stepdad. It's day drinking. It's what we all have in common with frat bros. We all love day drinking. It's the best way to spend a Sunday until you got to wake up on Monday. It's day drinking. It's I don't have a problem. I'm day drinking.
It's I'm not sad. I'm just day drinking. It's I was good at football when I was 15. It's day drinking. We're on the golf course, baby. Day drinking.
It's I got fired from my job today. I'm day drinking.
What's your go-to day drink?
My go-to day drink is usually not a light beer, but a light alcohol beer. Okay. So like something in the 3% range. Kolsch,
gotcha.
Those
like a Utah type of beer.
Or honestly, the official drink of Texas, ranch water.
Ranch water
is a great day drink.
Do you like the pre-made ranch waters?
I hate the pre-made. I hate them.
So
I hate them. They're
so
all
gross.
terrible.
So gross. So what's your go-to ranch water concoction? How are you putting it together? It's a simple drink.
It's a simple drink.
But everyone's got their nuances.
So if I have my druthers, and I often do, I take the topo.
Okay.
Pop the top.
Yeah.
Drink out about a third of it. Do I do 1 ounce of tequila.
Yeah.
Blanco is preferred.
Yeah.
And then half an ounce of lime juice. Ooh. And that tends to be my favorite mix.
So good.
One of the original ranch water purveyors, who does a high volume of these in San Antonio, they add a spicy jalapeno simple.
Ooh.
And it's really good.
I bet
it's so good.
Opens up the nasal pathways.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just like a sousson.
Just a zhuzh. A zhuzh. Just over there. Nice. I'm pretty much similar. I'll take a whole lime and slice really thin because the Topo Chico top.
So usually if you're a bartender, you go 8 slices out of a lime. If you're going to do the Topo slices, you do 16.
So I do basically that, and I put 10 of those into
and as you
bottle.
do it, you squirt it as you squeeze it.
Yeah. So it's just all going in there, and then I do tequila last. So a little, so it gets some of that juice. Yeah, and then a little swirl. Mm-hmm. Then I go out by the water. Yeah, drink my ranch water.
And you definitely don't drive a boat.
I do not drive a boat. Dude, everyone driving a boat is either drunk or 15. There's
no in between.
There's no in between.
Sometimes there's overlap.
Sometimes there's no in between. There's a Venn diagram, and sometimes there's some Westlake punk 15-year-old that's like, my dad bought the boat.
Getting trashed on seltzers.
Yeah, on White Claw, basically. Getting trashed on O'Doul's.
Meanwhile, Dean Stanfield's just tugboating away.
Dean Stanfield might be the only guy I know that can not own a jet ski and still rescue me on a jet ski.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
I could be drowning at Devil's Cove and Dean Stanfield can zoom in on a jet ski that he found.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, what's up, guys?
What's up?
What's up, boys? Yeah. He's made her. He's actually made her. I love him.
Yeah.
I miss him.
I miss him too, man.
Such a good guy. Want to hear about our other not sponsor?
Who's our other not sponsor, guy?
Our other not sponsor for today's episode of Texish is Scripture Tattoos. Scripture Tattoos. Were you good at football in high school? Scripture Tattoos. Can you please quote Philippians 4:12 and 4:14? Scripture Tattoos. She said she was going to be a missionary, but now she's a nanny. Scripture Tattoos. tattoos. I can do all things through Christ who gives me black ink and very big biceps. Scripture tattoos. Why is your Hebrew word written with Greek letters?
Scripture tattoos. Tell me you were saved halfway through life with a scripture tattoo.
Tell me that you had a phase.
Scripture tattoos.
Scripture tattoos.
Scripture tattoos. You got a lot for this one.
I actually wrote stuff down.
I can tell. I can always tell when you've written things down.
Because they're better.
They're longer. Because they're a little longer, and I just kind of go, cool.
Are they worse?
No, they're a lot. They are better.
Okay, I was because when I don't write them down, I'm trying to find what I'm saying as I'm saying.
I'm torn because we always like free ball these. We always freestyle.
Yeah,
these.
we always riff penis.
Yeah,
these.
we all riff.
Yeah, it's so fun.
No,
well, and it's not that I'm writing it down word for word. I've just found if I come in and I have the idea, but I haven't organized my thoughts, I'll start mixing them. So then I'm not saying any. I found myself not saying anything.
Right.
Whereas now it's more concise because I've thought it through.
I like it.
I like it. I should be a writer.
Yeah. Well, we're on strike right now.
Well, we are. We're on strike too.
Theoretic. Hopefully, the strike
because
is
if you
over
listen to the last episode, you know that we discovered the truth that studio heads are
dorks
and writers are alphas. Writers are awesome.
Writers are the alphas.
I actually I'm retracting every statement I've made about writers because I am realizing wait, I love.
You're
writing.
Also a writer.
Yeah,
that's the funniest part for me. Like watching on the sideline is you're basically like
thanks for giving me perspective that whole time.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, thanks.
You're basically like the mascot yelling at his own team. You know, that was you. you were like chucking plastic cups at the quarterback.
It's like literally I was throwing a tennis ball against the wall and it was hitting me in the face.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'm playing dodgeball and pegging my own team.
It's like if Pete Sampras like cut the strings to his own racket.
Throwback.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
It's like if John McEnroe started yelling through a microphone where their speaker was facing him.
Right.
Yeah.
I bet he
probably does that.
John McEnroe.
Have you seen the videos of him playing pickleball?
Shout out the Picklecast.
Dink Pickle something.
Whatever.
They're so handsome. They're cool guys.
They're tan and nice.
So everyone knows that dig was at them specifically because they're friends.
They are friends.
They're great.
They tolerate our ridiculousness.
There are videos now of McEnroe playing pickleball and losing his mind as he would when he was. But
is he good at pickle? Like I don't
know. Yeah, of course he's good. He's one of the best tennis players ever.
Well, I don't know if it translates.
It does translate.
If it
translates.
Yeah.
But like the ball will go out or it's just something will happen.
Whatever.
And he loses his mind. And it's just hilarious because you think he's done. You think that that's past him, and
it's not. It's just like, oh, that's just who he is.
That is like truly just who he is.
He could be playing chess. And like flip the board.
Yeah, because he won.
Right.
I mean, he is the David Goggins of tennis.
I don't know. I think McEnroe's more likable.
I think he's also harder. Anyway,
probably. We could go off on that.
I'm going to apologize one more time.
Okay.
Writers are awesome. I was wrong. I was wrong in my joking, in my humor.
I'm just gonna clip out that I was wrong part.
Please. I mean, we can put it across probably 80% of the things I've ever said on this podcast. Here's a list of everything.
I mean, me too.
Here, roll the credits. Here's a list of everything I've been wrong about in the last year and a half.
Dude, we don't have time in the studio for that. Put the little like
it's wrong.
Okay. Wrong about
mostly wrong about writers are awesome.
About a lot of things.
They work very hard. I mean, we're not in the fact category. We are in the comedy humor category,
which people tend to forget.
A lot of people don't even notice. Did you notice what I did on our SEO, like our actual show title?
I did. Yeah.
Texas Comedy Podcast.
I was going to ask you about that and be like, was this on purpose?
So it's on purpose for two reasons.
Okay.
The main reason is I noticed that Are You Garbage? Have you listened to Are You Garbage?
Yeah. I like it. It's a great show.
It's a really great show. Especially because a lot of the comedy podcasts have turned into two guys just riffing and talking. Yeah. I like the structure. They also might be the only guys to ever try 3 podcasts before getting to the one that works.
Hey, man, it's inspiring.
Very inspiring. You know? But it's Are You Garbage comedy podcast. And I realized, that actually works with the algorithm if you have comedy podcast in your title. So I put it there for that reason.
Okay.
But also so that anyone who stumbles upon us and before they can
Sure.
DM us or get really mad, it's like, it is in bold letters. Comedy podcast. So,
dude, that's hilarious.
Covering our bases.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
This is behind the scenes work. I would play the tape on everything I was wrong about, but like we legitimately just don't have time.
There's not enough time. Yeah, we have a time limit. Yeah. We only have 45 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. It would take about
it would be everything we've ever said except for our Greg Abbott jokes.
Pretty much. The Greg Abbott jokes, I stand by those. Even if he can't.
What? We're unhinged.
That one wasn't even that funny. I just liked it.
You were saying it, and I was like, someone's gonna do it. Someone's gonna say it.
I like that whenever we set up the Greg Abbott joke, somebody's gonna do it.
Someone's gonna do it. I always imagine Allison just being like, no comment.
I know, right? No comment.
Oh yeah, you work there. you work in that building. You can't say anything. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, what happened? Once upon a time.
When was it? 1874.
Early.
Yeah, early. In 1874, people gathered in Austin, Texas to watch the inauguration of the new Democratic governor, Koch. Unfortunately, E.J. Davis did not want to give it up. So despite winning easily by a 2-1 margin, Davis cited this obscure...
For those who aren't good at math, 2-1 means double.
Yeah. So he cites this obscure Supreme Court rule and is like, the election was rigged. I'm not giving it up.
Sounds familiar.
It does sound familiar, doesn't it?
Clearly, this is not a new problem.
So the Davis Democrats swarmed the old Capitol building and occupied the first level. Again,
sounds familiar.
Sounds pretty familiar. This happened on January 12th, though, so there was some separation.
Yeah.
So clearly, the Koch Democrats and the Davis Democrats were at war.
At least it was infighting.
It was infighting, at least.
What were the Republicans doing?
Chilling. They lost. So like,
we're gonna be at the coat room.
So David, one of the reasons Davis fought so hard is he thought he had presidential support.
Okay.
President Grant was presiding at the time.
Yeah.
So he wrote the Texas. He wrote Grant was like, "Hey, send U.S. troops to support my lawful win." And so he occupies the old Capitol building.
Yeah.
While the Koch Democrats are like keeping them out of the rest of the building, and they're kind of trapped. So they're at this stalemate.
Yeah.
And it takes like 5 days.
The Koch Democrats can't get out because they're not on the first floor, and the Davis Democrats can't go up because they're, and I guess they're not leaving.
So what happens is,
where's this Office Place comedy?
I know, right? So the Texas Attorney General writes to Davis on behalf of President Grant.
Okay.
Saying, the president in no uncertain terms does not recognize your victory and will not be sending U.S. support.
I also love that this was at a time where the president in a situation like this could be like, No, not going to deal with that.
Not going to deal with this.
Because now they have to do and say something about everything. Back then, they could be like, what happened?
What? No. Who? Davis?
Who? Texas?
He's weird. I don't like him.
This is back when he could be like, Texas is like 1,000 miles away, right? Like,
you know that if he gets mad at me, it's going to take months.
Also, he was probably like, look, Mexico can just have it back. If this crumbles.
This state is costing us so much money.
They've been here for 2 years.
And they are such a problem.
Little did he know how much money we would make.
Right?
Anyway.
I do like how Texas started off as a problem and has just stayed a problem.
We're a bit problematic. We're a little brother.
Texas, #problematic.
#problematic. But little brother.
Honestly.
We do and say rambunctious things.
Yeah. We're harmless.
But
just trying to get a rise.
Live without us.
I know, right?
You love us.
What would you do without us?
We simultaneously push you toward greatness and pull you toward.
I just want everybody to think how the United States would look without Texas.
Yeah,
that's a weird looking. That's a weird map.
It's a weird gaping hole at the bottom.
You need that little tail.
Yeah, honestly, America would have a vagina without Texas.
I mean, yeah, a little bit.
It would be like this open,
which is ironic because it would make them pussies.
That was good. That was a good one.
I think so.
Zinger.
Anyway, so Grant refuses to send troops, and Davis withdraws.
And that's it.
And Koch takes over, which actually starts. So that the reason that's significant within Texas history, is it
other than the fact that there was a hilarious insurrection
within the old Capitol building.
Yeah.
the reason that it's the most significant is it marks the end of Reconstruction in Texas.
Okay.
And a new era where the Koch Democrats would rule for like 100 years.
Nice. Yeah. Were these the Democrats that were more Republican by today's standards?
Yeah.
Right? Do you understand that, by the way? Like how the
flip happened?
Yeah, because in history, it's like Southern Democrats were the racist ones.
Right.
Which doesn't make sense in the context of like what a Democrat is today.
So
what happened there?
I wish I could tell you exactly what happened, but then we would have to roll the credits.
Then we would have to roll more credits of like here's.
And
everything.
As much as there's this thing in me that's like, just say it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It actually does matter.
Yeah.
And I do know that there was a point where the party
the party somehow flipped.
Yeah, and I can't remember exactly why or when. So
do you think it was?
You know what? I'm gonna look it up and get back to you.
We'll look it up. But do you think it was partially because Democrats are traditionally for bigger government, more control?
Yeah.
Back when it was severely more racist than times are now.
Sure.
They wanted slaves and stuff, and to be able to
stuff.
They wanted to be able to like keep kind of like laundry, the whites and the blacks separate, and so that was a horrible joke. They wanted that. They wanted that.
Not us.
I'm just referring to history right now.
They were the racist ones.
And do you think that is what made it like, okay, so Democrats wanted to control that, whereas Republicans were like, well, you shouldn't control that. Whether we're racist or not, like that is too big government? Is that?
I think maybe.
Maybe. But I'm not wrong, right? There was a point where like Democrats seemed more like today's Republicans and Republicans seemed more like today's Democrats.
Yes.
What is going on? How does that happen?
I think it had something to do with the Civil War. I don't know for sure.
The Civil War wasn't about slavery.
No, of course not. Just ask our grandpa.
Just ask anyone over the age of 50.
Right, fair.
Who is like for small government.
Well, it's such a trite response, but it is true. When they're like, it wasn't about slavery. It was about states' rights. States' rights
to own people of a specific lineage. Like what? Just say it.
Just like say it's. Oh my gosh. Anyway. Do you want to hear about our small town?
Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm just deflating you with all these uncomfortable topics.
Yeah, I'll talk about it. I don't care. I don't have a job. Nobody can fire me for saying inflammatory things.
Fair point.
Where is it? Our small town of the week is located a little bit north of Amarillo.
Okay, Amarillo.
Dumas, Texas.
Dumas. Dumbass.
Which is why I picked it.
Yeah, because there's like 5 ways to say it.
There's like 5 ways to say it. Population roughly 14,000. A little bigger than most of our small towns.
Well, it's one of those small towns where if you go through the town, there's a grain silo, a gas station, and you wonder, where's the school?
Where are the people?
Where are those 14,000 people?
Yeah.
They're just
spread out.
Yeah.
Like, it's a pretty big county, so they are really dispersed. The school's like way back in the like...
There's no central location.
No, there's no central
when
anything.
There's 50 miles between every neighbor.
And my favorite part is whenever you're driving through it, you just go, I'm driving through dumbass Texas.
Dumbass Texas right now.
The only like real claim to fame that I could find is that there is a song called I'm Your Ding Dong Daddy from Dumas.
Who sings that?
Some dude. I don't like some dude who theoretically was in the town when he wrote it.
Okay.
And on the like Wikipedia page, it's like, but some people in Oklahoma also claim he was in Dumas, Oklahoma when he wrote it. So there's some contention.
But I also feel like you don't want to own that. Like,
yeah, I know, right?
For a song like that, I don't think you want to be like, no, he was in our town.
I didn't even listen to the song, so I can't tell you what it is. But that is the title of the song that was
the Ding Dong.
I'm your Ding Dong Daddy from
I'm
Dumas.
your Ding Dong Daddy from. Let's break that down. What is a Ding Dong Daddy?
I don't know.
Like what is that?
I'm assuming, and I'm. You know what they say about assuming. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming
that makes a Dumas out of
you and me. There you go.
Out of do and ass.
I'm assuming it's one of those like bluesy rock and roll songs that's like
I'm your ding dong daddy.
That like vaguely implies that he's sleeping with somebody who's with somebody else.
Gotcha.
You know?
Yeah, and he also has
and other like that's his job. Like he rings on the doorbell.
Dude, affairs were so normal.
They were much more common for sure.
Yeah, or were they? Or are they still common?
I would assume they were more.
Or did we just call it swinging now? Well, just every movie about the 50s is
affair
like
by definition has to be like secret, right?
Yeah.
swinging is pretty above board.
It's pretty public.
It's pretty public.
Yeah,
it's like
wild.
It's pretty agreed upon.
You know how we have those conversations where my the Christian boy in me is like, what's happening?
What's happening right now?
When people talk about swinging, I'm like, what do you mean?
Do people talk about swinging? I mean, you are in Fort Worth now. So.
Well, not in Fort Worth, but when I was in Austin, it was.
Well, if you're in Austin, it's not called swinging. It's called polyamory.
Yeah, which is the stupidest thing.
Just say you want to.
All right, roll the credits on everything wrong I've ever said about polyamory.
It's fine. It's fine. It's okay.
It's like you're not polyamorous. You're just horny. Like
you're not polyamorous. You just can't commit.
Yeah, honestly,
which is fine.
Which is fine. You're not alone.
We just don't need more words.
Can we just call it that? Yeah, I was last week. I was hanging out with some guys in Fort Worth, and it was
at a key party.
Not at a key party. It was actually at a church gathering for this church plant that we're very lucky to be part of and to be to get to join. And a guy was talking to a guy who's not sure about joining yet. And the dude made a joke like, well, he has a hard time with commitment. And the guy says, well, look, I hate my job. And it's the one thing that I'm stuck with. So I'm afraid to get stuck with anything else. And I was like, so you just described a problem that most people under 35 have.
Yeah.
Like, you're not unique. That's just,
that's just having a job.
You just described being in your 20s, I think. So,
man, there is that unfortunate thing where I guess everybody thinks they have to love their job.
Right. Well, I love that our dad.
Yeah.
One of the nicest things our dad has ever said to me as I was having one of those.
Sure.
I don't love my, I don't know what to do. Yeah. What do I need? And he admitted, look, I'm one of the luckiest people on earth because I found what I love to do when I was 24 years old.
Yeah.
And he was like, I recognize that I'm one of the only people apparently in the planet.
Yeah.
That at an early age found what he loves to do and get to do it every day.
Yeah.
It's not uncommon to just hate your life.
I mean,
it leads apparently for some people it leads to some weird behavior.
Weird question. You phrased it. You're lucky to be joining this church.
Yeah.
Do churches turn people away?
No, I mean no.
Okay.
They turn people off for sure.
Well, sure, but
I mean lucky from on a real note. We were moving to Fort Worth. We knew we were moving. We prayed for a year for. Our main prayer wasn't even give us a house, let us find a good place to live or find a grocery store close by. It was please provide a church with where we can plug in, where we can very easily use our time and our talents to give to a healthy church body.
Okay.
And 3 weeks in, we just stumble upon this church plant that was launching out of a bigger church and just got thrown into this incredible community with people that sort of span from in their 30s with young kids to our age. So moving to a new place, wanting specifically a church community to be heavily involved in, we just got sort of thrust into that at a very early stage versus when churches get really, really big, it becomes harder to get people to plug in,
to become part of it,
to make people feel at home because you're just massive. And that I don't view that as a good or bad thing. It just is a thing versus a church plant where it's well, if we just show up on Sundays and don't talk to anybody.
Church plant?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means it's a church planting. Yeah, I guess I am using vernacular that's foreign to other people and it's normal to me.
So just a church,
so it's a church, but it's a church plant because they're
because why?
This is hilarious. I've never actually thought of how you explain this.
This sounds really dumb.
Yeah. So it's a verb. It's a verbiage in the church world to church plant, to go plant a church, meaning we're going to go somewhere.
So
somewhere can, let me finish. And somewhere can mean a neighborhood, a town, a place, and we are going to plant.
Okay.
Meaning, I think it just means we're going to grow as a church.
So that I get it. So technically it's a church seed.
I guess technically speaking, that's more accurate.
Church planted, and you guys are now a church seed.
Well, but also they have been a seed within this bigger church, almost they were a seed was put into soil in a pot in this bigger church, and it was watered.
So they were a church propagation.
I think.
If you're going to use it, you have to use all of it.
Sure. What does propagation mean?
It's what you just described. If you take something from a bigger part and grow that while it's over here.
Well, so it was in this pot, and they grew it to where now it's a plant, and now they're
now it's a church.
And now it is a plant, and they're taking it, and they're planting it.
It's a church plant.
It's a church plant now. Okay. So it was a church seed.
So what does it become? Just a church?
A church. At some point, it stopped. At some point, the herpology, the science language goes away.
At what level is it no
That's
longer?
A great question.
Because I want to know.
Because
after it flowers, what does that look like?
We're a church flower.
We're a church flower. We started as a church seed within the other church. We were propagated. Now we're a church plant.
Now we're a church plant. Now we're budding.
And well, if you bud, that would then be other church plants.
True. So is it a church?
So you would flower. I think, when you grow.
I honestly, I'm assuming just being in this community, in this world, it stops being a church plant either when it has its own building.
Okay.
Or when it reaches a certain number, I guess. I would guess.
I'm gonna need you to come back to me with that number.
I will come back.
I have to know now.
Yeah. Well, I think it's building, not number. I think.
Okay.
But I don't believe the goal is to even have its own building sometimes. Sure. So it's probably a number thing.
Okay.
Or it's a time thing. Maybe a year in, you're a church and not a church plant. Wow. You know when you think something's just super normal to everyone?
When you think something makes sense and then you talk about it, you're like, wow, that sounds so dumb.
No, it makes sense to me still. Like this conversation, I'm not walking away like, wow, it's dumb that we use that language. I'm still like, this makes sense, but
it makes sense on a really weird level.
Well, I mean, it's Christianity. Of course it's weird.
It's fair.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah.
No, I'm with you. I just like, I like how people love to overcomplicate everything for no reason.
But it still doesn't seem complicated to me. It makes perfect sense.
It makes sense because you force it to.
Not because I force it, because it just does.
Because they've created language for no reason.
What would you call, if you were the first person?
Sure.
To be a part of a church and think, let's send like a pastor and his or her family to a new place to start another church. What would you call it? What
church?
You would just be like, go church.
I'd be like, go start a new church.
Huh. All right. And you're not,
and then we would be able to cut out all the
you're making it sound like Christians are complicated and other people are not. You don't think that?
Oh no, other people
we go
are
back
also
to the
really
origins
complicated.
Of this,
other people are way more complicated.
Some other language. I'm just pointing out that yes, plant and seed apparently is what we're using.
Yeah.
If another person started there,
fine.
If we trace this back to the Genesis, it's still a person.
Right.
So it's going to be complicated no matter what.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
other things are also very
just making sure that you're not implying
out
because it's Christianity, it's complicated.
No reason it has to be that complicated.
It doesn't seem that complicated though. If anything, it's very simple because you're visualizing seed, water, plants, propagate.
Yeah, but I added that. That's not even something you guys talked about.
So you made it more complicated.
Well, yeah, of course.
So you're
yeah. How long have you been my brother? I'm always the problem. I'm always the problem.
I'm not actually calling you a problem right now.
I know.
That was just a funny. I'm just stating my.
I am actually calling that stupid though, just so we're clear.
Well, I'm sure. I'm just pointing out that if you think that's stupid, you clearly have to think that like other weird language, like swingers, are stupid.
Yeah, like met me. Of course, I think the language is stupid.
Cool. Just making sure that you're fair here.
Howdy, 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 y'all. Normally, we bring you our not sponsors, but today we are excited to talk about an actual sponsor, Hydrate by Good On Ya. You can go to gooonyaorganic.com to get Hydrate, which is an all-organic hydration powder supplement. It contains only natural organic ingredients and no sugar at all. It's made of lemon juice, coconut water, stevia, and organic sea minerals. This is the best hydration product I personally have ever used. I take it every single day when I wake up and after my sauna, and I feel incredible. Completely organic ingredients. A good friend of ours introduced us to this, and I can't go a day without it. So get yourself some Good On Ya. Get yourself hydrated.
Look, it's not the 1920s anymore. Everybody has a business or a startup of some sort, whether it's a side project, whether you've ditched the silver spoon and are going all in on your side hustle to make it a full-blown business, or you have a small business already, but you've hit a plateau in growth and you're trying to find different ways to turn your marketing dollars into legitimate revenue. Well, Creators Collective is here for you. They are a full-service marketing agency offering marketing, branding, logo design, copy, video, social media management, anything custom to your business or your startup or your side hustle that will help you grow your bottom line, grow your brand reach, and just feel like you have the best dang company ever because your marketing assets are frankly better than everybody else in the game. So what you need to do right now is go to creatorscollective.us and contact them to schedule a call and find how Creators Collective can help you grow your business for the long term. That's Creators Collective. Schedule a call and just grow your freaking business with marketing that freaking works.
There you go. Do you want to hear about our bidet?
Yes, please.
Our Texas
Badass of the day.
Who is it? Our Texas bidet of the week is Mason Cox. That's his real name.
I know.
COX. Mason Cox. Know the guy? Heard of him?
Is this of Cox Cable?
Well, now you have. So Mason Cox is the only American to ever play professional Aussie rules football, otherwise known as Aussie footy.
Sure.
Not rugby. It's not rugby.
No, it's not.
And it's not football. It's Aussie rules football.
Yeah.
It is the craziest game I've ever seen because
Yeah.
it's played on like a cricket field.
Yeah.
And actual cricket stadiums are massive. They are way bigger than a soccer field. Players run up to 10 miles in a single game.
Whoa.
And it's a mix of like soccer, basketball, and rugby. So like, it's almost like Quidditch even. And so you can tackle the way you do in rugby.
Yeah.
You can kick the way you do in soccer, and you can pass the way you do in basketball. So it's just all these grown men, and there's really no rules. Like there's no like, don't hit in the head. No, don't shot people. Don't do, there's no don'ts. It's just get the ball through the uprights over there. And it's just this crazy, like rugby players are like, that game is crazy. I actually think when we had Mac Mason on, shout out Mac Mason, we asked him about footing. He was like, screw that game. So Mason Cox, a original citizen of Dallas, Texas.
Is this recent?
It's in the last almost 10 years.
Okay.
So he's like an established professional star now.
Wow.
But so he's from Dallas, Texas, and he was 6'10" when he was in the 10th grade. Almost 7 feet tall.
Wow.
Did not play basketball. Played soccer.
Oh, that's
and there's a guy now that's on the Boston Celtics who might win the finals this year that was at the same high school. I don't know if they were in the same grade, but he was like, we hated him because he's 6'10".
He just wouldn't
what
play.
Other sport are you going to play? And he played soccer. And he also like hadn't grown into his body yet. So he wasn't very good at soccer. He was tall.
Right.
So he was a good target for like a good cross, but like
he couldn't.
The coordination wasn't entirely there.
Yeah.
And so he,
if you know anything about soccer, it's a good game for uncoordinated people.
Yeah, right. And so he ends up going to Oklahoma State University.
Yeah.
And walks onto the basketball team.
Sure.
Where he ends up guarding Joel Embiid, who was this year's MVP in the NBA. Was decent at basketball.
Yeah.
Wasn't gonna go play pro or anything like that. Wasn't even a guy that thought I'll go play in Europe. Like,
right. He just did it.
Walks on because he's 6'10". He did it because
he was 6'10" and bored.
And he was like, I don't play soccer anymore, so I guess I'll play basketball.
Yeah.
And so he actually accepted a 6-figure oil and gas job at Exxon. Like he's wicked smart. Before he starts that though, the AFL, the Aussie Football League, for the first time ever, they've never done this before. It's 2014, sends over scouts to like scout basketball and football players and hold a combine that summer to see like, is there anyone here worth giving a contract to? Cue Mason Cox with his 6'10" frame. Like, wasn't very good, but they were like, he's so tall.
He's 6'10".
We don't have anyone that tall. And he's agile enough. Yeah. And with the soccer experience, he actually wasn't bad at kicking. Okay. So that is what separated him. Because most of the guys that they brought in were like basketball players and football players. They're fast, but they can't kick. And kicking is actually a pretty big part of the game. Like, honestly, Mac Mason should try on his football. Well, his foot's kind of messed up.
I was going to say.
He got a stick through his foot. Anyway.
Jamie, roll a clip.
Jamie, roll that. So he does this combine, and he gets picked up by the Collingwood Magpies, who are like one of the biggest teams historically in the AFL. goes over there, is good enough to make the team. Like, they believe in this project enough to give him a shot. The next 2 years of his career is a mix of like highlights and blunders because he's just learning the game at a professional level with guys who have grown up playing the game. So he's like skying people and catching the ball in these ridiculous ways and making some good kicks, but he's also like own goaling and tackling his own players and dropping the ball when he's not supposed to. Just all this crazy stuff.
Hilarity.
So it's a mix of like love and hate with him because he'll do these incredible things, but then also
and then just immediately get tackled.
Fail horrendously. Yeah. But fast forward to now, he's a legitimate like all-star in the AFL.
Nice.
3 years ago, he had his retinas scratched out and was blind for 3 days.
Wow.
Came back
from blindness.
Straight Texas Aussie style.
Dude.
So he's like a solidified AFL superstar.
Yeah.
The funniest thing, though, is his accent has gotten super messed up.
Yeah.
Because I've seen him interview. He was on, they did a 60 Minutes piece on him last week. So this is recent.
This is really recent.
And he's talking to the interview and he'll go into this Australian and then come back into Texan in his real Southern drawl. And then I'm playing Aussie rules football. And it's
like bouncing back and
this
forth.
crescendo and decrescendo of Aussie to Southern. It's super weird. Like, it has clearly messed him up.
Yeah.
And what's great is he's playing with Aussie. So they're like, he's fucking around. It's not that. Like, they're like, it's not that real accent. He's just putting it off of you guys. Like,
right.
Just giving him shit from the get-go. So
I love Australians for that.
I love Australians.
I do too, man.
I just love Australians.
We gotta go to Australia.
They love you. For those who don't know, back when we had a rugby team here in Austin, screw you, freaking rugby league.
Oh my god.
For the Gilconis, we would sit with the players' girlfriends, and they would all hit on Seth while their boyfriends played rugby.
And that was the start of me messing with dangerous women.
Fair point. You have a fetish.
I have a thing for women with boyfriends who could kill me.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. Anyway, speaking of accents,
Texas has some great accents.
Texas has some good accents, and people think that it's one accent,
and it is not.
And, we did a breakdown of the regions of Texas.
Yeah. And we perfectly broke down the 5 regions of Texas.
No debating it.
Nobody had
no one had any qualms with it. 2 things on it really quick. One, we did that segment randomly. We did not plan that.
No.
It was also the end of a batching day.
True.
So honestly, I look at it like we could have done that better.
We could have done better.
It was a little lazy.
But I'm also like, we were just riffing.
Yeah, we're riffing. And the way we broke it up, I agree with.
Yeah.
Some
like, honestly,
like,
I do agree
Austin
with the way.
would never be the same Dallas.
And it's like, it would, though. It would, though. It would.
If there's a bus getting me here in 2.5 hours and they're both metropolitan areas growing toward each other,
and like, don't ignore the biggest reason. It is the capital. Like, there is a reason.
There's a reason it's going to be here.
And so if you got DFW, Austin, and San Antonio all in one little thing.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah, like whether you like that
Sorry.
I'm
sorry they're all close to each other.
Get on I-35 and tell me when you see any green pasture between those 3 cities.
If you want me to break up Texas culturally, we're going to have a lot more regions.
Exactly. But if we're just doing geographically.
If we're doing geographically and like things that kind of make sense city-wise.
And if we're going Hunger Games style.
And if we're going to go accent-wise, it's pretty clear. You've got north, south, east, west. And there's some nuances
within there. One other thing really quick before we get there. Some people accused us of copying the Bernie segment where that guy breaks down Texas.
Yeah.
And he does it way better than us.
He does it way better than we do.
We did not have a conversation like, let's copy that Bernie segment.
Well, we didn't even have a conversation about breaking out the regions.
True. Later, we were like, I guess that was kind of like the Bernie thing. So we'll acknowledge that.
Sure, yeah.
I totally know that Fred Armisen did the tour of American accents in his Stand Up for Drummers special that probably 5 people watched a couple of years ago. We are also not copying that. This is our own thing. JB Sauceda at Texas Humor will probably copy this. That's cool. So... Yeah, I've dropped journalists.
Salty.
I've dropped journalists. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, plus like, a little it's a friendly beef.
It's a friendly beef.
So Texas accents,
like Bevo. A friendly beef.
Friendly beef. They did used to eat them. Anyway,
just that one time.
Let's start north and we'll work our way kind of like down.
All right, give me your north. You give me, because you have Amarillo, family in Amarillo.
Well, so it's Amarillo. Amarillo. So if you're up in Amarillo, you're gonna maybe hear an accent, but you're just really gonna hear.
So do Jenny's parents have an Amarillo accent?
Well, so It's weird. They don't really have an Amarillo accent, but they do have more of a panhandle. It's very like Chuckles is kind of subdued, and it's not Southern, but it's
right. And there's some like words, right? So
yeah.
Chuck will be talking. He'll talk about his favorite books.
Yeah, books, and a kolache. They like a good kolache. A good so I'm from Amarillo, where I'm eating a kolache with my book.
The thing about Amarillo is that accent is like it's a little longer and a little like it's not clipped.
It's long short.
It's long short. Like
the middle is short. The ends are long.
That'll make sense because we'll talk about some other accents. A lot of Texas accents clip everything.
Yeah. Whereas like Amarillo, Panhandle, they sort of draw them together.
They draw them together.
Yeah, I'm in Amarillo
while they're drawing it out.
So I'm out at the pasture with the cows,
and you're gonna hear every single word
how it comes together, but also gets drawn out. So I'm in Amarillo with the kolache. But then if I go down to West Texas.
Go down to West Texas.
I go to West Texas. See, it's more
clip
because we'll get to East Texas, but when you go to West Texas, it's like, a little more like
it's almost like it's like you're constantly trying to keep your mouth closed.
Yeah, it's almost like
it's so dirty.
It's almost like a Cali girl got her mouth sewed shut. So it's like because a Cali, I'm like but if I'm like it's just
kind of like
West. I'm going to the football game later and think it might be fun. Might watch Hell or High Water.
I'm gonna have you think we're having a good season?
I might have a good season. There's a lot of. It's almost like the lip goes down to the left.
It's
very
like
much, they got a fish hook
in West Texas.
In their mouth.
It's like the environment has like completely influenced your accent because it's as though you have a dip in your mouth and you're trying to keep the dirt out of it.
Even if you don't. So West Texas. So it's very even the pastor when he's up on the pedestal, he's like hellfire and damnation.
Hellfire and damnation
coming down.
So if you want to do the West Texas, you just kind of keep your teeth kind of closed.
Keep it closed. It's very and like move your upper lip and your lower lip separately. So West Texas is more right here.
So I'm kind of like right here.
Kind of right here. And they open their mouth more.
And people will point out that we do not have accents.
It's
not
true.
Really.
Not really.
There's some words.
Sure.
There's some when you get a little
lawyer. I would when I back at the place I used to work.
Yonder.
Yonder. When I say lawyer, it comes out lawyer.
Yeah. Anything that ends in a "ur", it goes down.
Especially the word "ur". Is "ur".
No, it's Y-E-R.
Yeah.
Clearly.
And now, so if we go further, like southwest. Hold
on. One.
Well, because there is the valley's different than Southwest Texas because it's two different regions that are coming upward.
That's true.
And so you go from West Texas and then it becomes like, hey, taco, like it's going to be more of a baseball game,
Yeah.
Like it's going to be more that Dominican, more that taco and mama.
Yeah,
totally. Why are you not joining me on this and making me do this alone?
Because it's funny that way.
I'm very uncomfortable.
Here's a distinction we do have to make because there's the Los Angeles Ohms,
Yeah,
that's a very
it's not Jolofit Creeper.
It is not Jolofit Creeper.
That's not really a Texas thing,
Texas thing.
Yeah,
it's very much like. Spanish is your first language, not you learned English from Spanish.
From Spanish, it's like it's very more mira aquí,
It's Spanglish. Like you go to the valley and you get a lot of Spanglish, right?
Well, in the valley, so let's go to the valley.
Mira sí,
because again, Southwest,
different.
Mira sí, taco aquí. Southwest, it's more of that working class. Like I don't even know how to do it. Can you like the way Mike talks a little bit?
The way Mike talks a little bit.
Go listen to our episode with Mike. That's the valley accent.
That's the valley accent.
Yeah, it's very stoked, but it's also a little Latin. So
a little bit Latin.
Like it's very up front. Whereas mira, mira.
Yeah.
Like
mira, look.
Yeah, mira, look. There it is.
There it is.
Yeah, mira.
Mira,
look right here. We're going to the beach. Whereas, hey, we're going to the beach, like
soft spoken.
Southwest
Valley.
Southwest Valley. I'm from the Southwest. I'm from the valley.
From the valley.
Oh yeah!
It's like imagine. It's Al Pacino doing it. It's Al Pacino doing his version.
I got a need
of a Spanish Texas.
Got a real need for the valley. Ho! So
what are we doing?
Yeah, now let's do what we actually know about.
I know, right?
Yeah, right. Just stop appropriating culture. So if we go from West Texas and we start to move east, we get not. So we're not going into the city. No. We're going more into Livingston.
Maybe
Lufkin. Nacogdoches.
I like a Nacogdoches
like
accent.
When people make fun of Texas accents, they're really just making fun of East Texas.
They're making fun of that East Texas accent.
It's behind the pine curtain.
Behind the pine curtain. You're almost over into like
you're
Alabama.
almost in Alabama,
Louisiana,
even
There you go.
Arkansas.
Yeah,
I'm from
Arkansas.
Texarkana, but I'm from the good side.
From the good side,
So I'm right here in East Texas, where I might go to Carthage for the day. It's a real pretty place.
And then there's Carthage.
It's not pretty. It's pretty.
Pretty.
It's a pretty place.
It's a pretty place in East Texas.
Yeah, it's not that.
East Texas is as close as you're going to get to like a southern accent.
Yeah,
Because it's got none of the grit of the West and the Panhandle.
Yeah, none at all.
But it's got all the drawl.
It's got
when
all
you
the
think
drawl.
Of a drawl. That's what you think of. You think of Piney Woods. You think of Carthage.
I think of great meth and
the best
I think of great meth and wealth disparity at its finest because they all sound the same.
They all sound about the same.
This person,
it's like a Jeff Foxworthy imitation.
It's like I'm the principal of the school.
Yeah.
And I got all these kids running around. And when I'm the kid now. Now I'm the kid, and that principal took my meth. Like why are you laughing so hard?
I don't know. That was really random.
Well, I'm
principal. Now I'm the kid.
Well, because they sound. By the time they're 13, they're really just. And it's not that they're redneck. They're just a little.
They're just locked into the country.
It's just that they're forgotten country, and for more the southern part of the country.
The southern part, Yeah, and everything's really enunciated, and
if you sound
like this, you're probably from East Texas.
You're probably from East Texas.
You're probably from East Texas.
Yeah, that's probably
it's like a higher accent.
Well, and it's Appalachia if it was in Texas.
It's like
in every type of way.
If you're talking like you're from East Texas, you probably are speaking in like your nasal register.
You're up here. Where if you go to Houston, you're more here. You're from East Texas.
You're from East Texas,
but you've spent some time in Saudi Arabia.
I can't do it, but
we're doing only accents we can really do because it's formed off of our experience. We can't apologize for because East Texas into Texas A&M, and I got a job at ExxonMobil. And so now, it's not really Amarillo. It's not really East Texas.
It's not West Texas.
It's definitely not West because I know how to enunciate, but I don't talk in that high register that my principal did. I'm a professional.
You may even start to hear a little bit less of the y'alls and the what's and the whatnots.
Less y'alls, more you all are here. You are here, and you are now all here.
You all
and
are listening to my speech on the fundamentals
of
thermodynamics.
That was a good one because I wake up in Katy and I drive all the way into the inner loop of Houston. Go Astros.
So think enunciation of East Texas, the
down. We're not in our head.
The down register of Panhandle.
Yeah, coming down a little bit
with like those things combined.
Yeah,
with a little bit better vocabulary.
Yeah, and then if we move over to Austin. Austin is just right here. Like it's right in between. Hey, we're still not in East Texas, and we're not in Houston anymore. We're just in Austin.
Just in Austin, man.
We're here for the bachelor party. It's gonna be great. I love being from West Texas, from Westlake.
Love being from Westlake.
I'm from Westlake. I played lacrosse growing up. I love Drew Brees. Not so much Baker Mayfield.
I take the family down to P. Terry's twice a week.
We go to P. Terry's all the time.
Matt's El Rancho is one of my favorite places.
I forgot half my memories at Matt's El Rancho. I'm going to go to the lake later.
UT Austin, everybody.
Are y'all going to the lake later? I feel like that's right there.
Y'all going to the lake later?
Are y'all going to the lake later?
I'll see you at the lake.
Yeah, I'll see you. We're going to go downtown.
Family's going to go Red Rocks for service, then we're going to go to the lake.
Go to lake. We might go to SoCo for brunch. We might go to SoCo for brunch.
Y'all remember Hey Cupcake?
Yeah. Is that still around, by the way?
I believe so. I saw there is a trailer over off of the Mueller park.
For sure.
There's also the other Austin accent if you want it. It's oh, hey, man, I just got in from California.
There's also the other Austin accent, which is, I just moved here. Well, because that's, I can barely do an accent now because we've been doing so many. Because there's some people
and they're similar. They're all similar.
I moved here from up in the Northeast. I'm now from
Austin.
We're
Texans, so everybody's welcome.
So everyone's welcome, Everyone's welcome in my family, too. We're from Italy. It's a bit of a thing. Anyway, so that is Austin. And then if we moved into DFW, that's where it gets real highfalutin.
Real highfalutin, man.
It's so I'm from Highland Park.
If we're gonna do the Dallas accent, you have to do it like this. Oh, hi y'all, I'm from Dallas. My husband owns a plastic surgery practice.
Everyone from Dallas. Is just a hot wife.
We're just a hot wife.
It's not that I'm a Southern belle. I just went to SMU.
There you go.
And that's all. Not TCU. SMU.
When I think Dallas, I think, hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all. Not howdy. Hey. Hi. Even hi. I'm not thinking
Hi,
of hi.
y'all.
I'm going to go to Soul Cycle later. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
But don't forget about the luncheon.
The Dallas accent
there's a luncheon every day.
As though the Real Housewives are all pastors.
A little bit. Well, the Real Housewives are the pastors' wives. Right. So it's going to be great.
Because there you go.
And also the Cowboys still suck. Anyway. And then if you go to Fort Worth, it sounds like this.
Yeah. Fort Worth is
Fort Worth is just normal. It's great. Panther City, baby, till I die. We also have to get out of here because they're back to back today. So that's why I'm also wrapping this up really rapidly. Which was your favorite? Which is your favorite accent?
My favorite accent is probably the East Texas accent. Is so fun. It's just it is.
It's also easy.
It's Jeff Foxworthy.
No nuance.
It's just exactly what you think. It is.
Welcome back to Texish. We're just here having a good time. We're here having a good old East Texas rip roaring
drinking liquid
time. Brooks and Dunn is my favorite band ever, and we're so glad you came here. Don't forget to go to TexishPod.com. Whether you're in East Texas or not, we got merch there. Go buy some of that. I know we didn't do a San Antonio accents because it probably sounds offensive anyway. So there's that. Make sure to go buy a shirt. Like, subscribe, share. We appreciate y'all so much. Bye, y'all.
Howdy, 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 everyone.
Thank you so much for enjoying this episode of Texish. If you liked it, subscribe.
That way, anytime new reels or new episodes come out, you'll be the first one to know. It'd also, frankly, help us keep doing something that we love. We hope you love it too. If you've been listening for a while or you're a new listener, go to our store at TexishPod.com. We've got a couple of t-shirts there. You can see one of them right here. They're really good, really high quality, and frankly, we just think they're the best. So go buy a shirt, make sure you subscribe, and thanks for tuning in.
Bye, y'all.